All right, hopefully you got those 10 problems done on page 157 and you're ready to move on to page 160. When you pass in your papers to me, go ahead and rip them all out. That way I can see that you did the other parts with me. That will be good. Let's see. Page 160, we're talking about quotation marks around certain titles. Now remember, look at the look closely section. We've already learned that you underline books, magazines, and newspaper titles. Things, and then you use quotation marks around things you would find inside these, like a chapter heading or an article name inside of one of those. If you're typing these, you don't underline them. You actually italicize them where it makes it go crooked to the sides a little bit. I showed you that on something else and I don't see any examples of that on here. But when you're typing, we would actually italicize it. But we can't italicize it nicely when we handwrite. So if you're handwriting something, you would underline books, magazines, and newspapers. Things within them, and then titles also of, look up here, short stories, poems, songs, chapters, articles. That's the stuff that's inside your books, magazines, and newspapers. Any part of the book, magazine, and newspaper, you would put in quotes. Look here, it says Rikki Tikki Tavi is a story by Rudyard Kipling, which is a really cool story, actually. It's a short story, so they put it in quotation marks. If it was a book or, a chapter kind of story in a big book, then you would have used italicized it or underlined it. I have memorized the poem The Village Blacksmith, and that's in quotation marks. It's a poem. The Florida State song is Old Folks at Home. That's kind of funny because that's where all the old people go when they retire. Anyway, a song would be in quotation marks. Your history assignment is to read chapter 3, Kingdoms and Empires, and that's a chapter. Okay? All right, let's go down and let's do a few of these. It looks like today we're going to do pages 1. Did I not fix that? 160 to 162. I see an error in my lesson plan. I'm going to have to fix that before I send it off to you guys. All right. James Weldon Johnson described Adam in his poem, The Creation. We opened the meeting by singing. Here's the song. The main article in today's newspaper was entitled, Decreasing the National Debt. Well, we're definitely not doing that right now with all this is going on. We're increasing the national debt, unfortunately. Haley read Poe's short story. I love Edgar Allan Poe, The Telltale Heart. Got to be a little brave to read his stuff, and it's a little difficult to read, but I enjoy them. I enjoyed the poem, The Road Not Taken, by Robert Frost. The Gift of the Magi is this collection of short stories, is in this collection of short stories by O. Henry. Chapter 8 of our history book is called Africa Long Ago. Jabberwocky is a completely nonsensical poem. Robert Burns was a well-known Scottish poet who wrote such poems as To a Mouse. Everyone in the auditorium rose to his feet as, here's a song, The Star-Spangled Banner was played. On a notebook paper, write sentences that will include each of the following titles. Punctuate them correctly. Okay, I won't have you do that, but let's just look at it real quick. Title of a song, title of a short story, title of a poem, title of a chapter in your science book, a title of a magazine article, and a title of a newspaper article. All of these would have quotation marks around them. Okay? All right, next page. So you didn't have to do that one. All right. Page 161. Do we use quotation marks or do we underline? Place needed quotation marks around the speaker's words in this passage taken from Mark 14:26-31. All right, let's just go through this together. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. And Jesus said unto them, okay, and now we're going to directly quote what he said. Oops. Sorry about that. I got to get back into my writing or it just flops around. All right. All ye shall be offended because of me this night. Put the quotation marks after those three dots. And those three dots are indicating that he said more, but they're not writing it. But Peter saith unto him, and here's what Peter says, although all shall be offended, yet will not I. And Jesus said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this day, even in this night, before the cock crows twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. But he spake the more vehemently, if I should die with thee, I will not deny thee in any wise. All right. Notice, they're talking to us right here about what I just said. The ellipses, these right here. In the passage above, these are used to show that some of the speaker's words have been omitted. Ellipse points are always inside the quotation marks. Just looking down at my mic if it sounds funny. Okay, correctly underline or put quotation marks around the titles in the following sentences. Today's story in the New York Tribune, so this would be underlined because that's the name of a newspaper. The article in it, tornadoes hit the Midwest, would be in quotation marks. So normally, because this is typed out, if you were typing it out, you would italicize New York Tribune. If you are still looking for a copy of America for Me, and we see right here that it's a book, it is in this book, Favorite American Poems. I think I put that in quotation marks. Maybe it's a section of that book. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going backwards. It is in la la la. I messed up. Okay. So this is the book, Favorite American Poems. And this is the poem in the book. How about that? I should read the whole sentence first, and I would have that error. I gave him the following books, David Copperfield, Black Stallion, and Call of the Wild. All right, so we have books, so we're just going to underline them. Stephen Foster wrote the song, My Old Kentucky Home song, but he did not write Yankee Doodle. I read a book about the USS Maine called The State of a War. So the USS Maine needs to be, why don't they have the USS part underlined? Because that's the title, name of a book. I mean, that is the name of a ship. So I would think that would all be italicized. They just have Maine underlined. I don't know why. Okay, so the book is called The Start of War. There was a review of Nelson's book, The Life of Paul, in the latest Time magazine. All right, Time is a magazine. And the review Nelson, okay, this is his book too. I don't think they actually named the article, but that's a book and Time is a magazine. When the frost is on the pumpkin, frosted, I think that's is that a typing error? I never heard of a pumpkin. Would it be pumpkin? Anyway, that's a poem. It needs quotes. The Woman with a Shawl by Picasso. So this is a painting. is painted predominantly in blue. So, woman with a shawl is a painting. That a painting, works of art, would be underlined or italicized. Stephen's Treasure Island is divided into 6 parts. So Treasure Island is the name of the book. The 6 parts. The last part, called Captain Silver, opens with a chapter called In the Enemy Camp. So we have a part of a book, and then we have a chapter in a part of the book. So both of those would be in quotation marks. Did you put all quotation marks outside commas and periods? Remember to do that. And they give us an example. My favorite in poems include opportunity, see the comma inside, highwayman, the comma's inside, and the charge of the light brigade, comma, a period inside. All right, next page. All right, I'm going to do the top part with you, and I think I'm going to let you do the bottom. How's that sound? Because so far we've done everything together. All right. A blank is a person's exact words. Okay, so we've been talking about this today. A direct quote or quotation would be the person's exact words. A direct quotation begins with a capital letter. Okay. A direct quotation is separated from the rest of the sentence by a comma. Commas and most end marks should be placed inside. Use quotation marks around the titles of blank and other parts of books, magazines, and newspapers. So they want us to put all the other things in there. It was the short stories. And the poems. And the songs. What else? Chapters. Articles. Okay. So you're putting quotation marks around all the necessary and all other necessary marks of punctuation in the following riddles. So let me look at number 1 with you, and you can do the last on your own. That's a lovely picture, isn't it? It's definitely not where you want to see an elephant when you open your refrigerator. Why did Dunderhead drive his new truck off the cliff? Asked Tom. I think that he wanted to test his air brakes, laughed Ed. Ha, 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 ha. Are you laughing? All right, so direct quote, right? And it's a question, so put a question mark inside there. Asked Tom, then a period. I think that he wanted to test the air brakes, is what Ed said, and a comma, and then you finish it. So that's all they want you to do. Do that to number 2, 3, and 4 today. All right? Have a good day. I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.